Hey everybody, I've got a question from my last advanced PowerShell class. What does the PowerShell commandlet Unblock-File do? And it was a question if it worked with the mandatory integrity control. Well, guess what? It doesn't. But we're about to find out what it does do. So let me give you a little context here. So we were actually working with files that we had downloaded from the internet. And the problem is that when we ran them, it prompted us because it was a file that came from the internet. So we used the commandlet Unblock-File to remove that block that was on the file. But really, what does it actually do? For the original question about whether or not it does anything with the integrity control attribute. The integrity control attribute works with a discretionary access control list, which is not something that we're going to be working with our downloaded content. So I downloaded a really simple script from the internet. I can see that it is blocked. Running only scripts that you trust. While scripts from the internet can be useful, this script can potentially harm your computer. So that's why we're using Unblock-File to get rid of that little block, whatever it is. But let's explore why it's being blocked. So here is the file object for the program, the script that we are working with. And you can see it is a PowerShell script. Now, what I'm about to show you is only going to work in PowerShell 7, so you need to make sure you're at least at PowerShell 7.2 for this to work. With version 7.2, you have access to the stream parameter with the command get item, and this is going to show us the alternate data streams. Every file has at least one data stream. Now, the default one in Windows is $data, but you can add additional streams of data, like, for example, EXIF data, or any other type of information you want to attach to a file. So we're going to be using the stream parameter with a wildcard to discover all the data streams on this file. Now, when I do that, the first one that pops up is going to be the default one that's on all of our files here in the Windows operating system, which is the data stream. But there's another one here called Zone.Identifier. That's the one we are interested in. Now, when I grab just the Zone.Identifier stream and pipe it to get member, we can see that this is an object of alternate stream data. Let's go ahead and actually see what's stored inside of it. And this one is called a Zone.Identifier. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab that object that represents the file. I'm going to pipe it to get content, and using its stream parameter, I am going to tell it give me the information about the Zone.Identifier. And here I can see there is a zone transfer tag and it has a zone ID of 3. That zone ID of 3 is what is blocking us from being able to run this script without being prompted for consent. Let's go ahead and look up what this Zone.Identifier actually means. Here it says Windows Internet Explorer, I guess you can call it Edge now, uses the stream name Zone.Identifier for storage of URL security zones. Let's take a look and see what these security zones are. Now remember, we're at zone ID 3. I'm going to go down to the default URL security zones, and I can see that this one says it is coming from the internet. So when we download files from the internet, that is how PowerShell knows that this was a downloaded file. As a matter of fact, that's how any software knows that this is a file that has been downloaded from the internet. Let's go ahead and unblock it. Here we're looking at the help file for Unblock-File, and we can see this commandlet only works on the Windows and Mac platforms. Now, what it does here internally, the Unblock-File commandlet removes the Zone.Identifier alternate data stream, which has a value of 3 to indicate that it was downloaded from the internet. So what I'm going to do next is I am going to grab the object representing that file. I'm going to pipe it to Unblock-File. And now we're going to look at those data streams one more time. And what we're going to notice is that our alternate data stream for the Zone.Identifier is gone. So we can see if everything worked out correctly, our script is able to run. I hope that clears up any confusion about what Unblock-File does. And the other cool thing is we can now see alternate data streams using PowerShell 7. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you in the next episode.